Okay, why do I low-key feel like a rich housewife? Constantia, will you please tell Mallory we will not make it to polo tonight? My darling Albert is not feeling very well tonight. He fell off a horse. I will give William the message. Thank you, darling. Bye-bye. Bye. I'm a natural. Hey guys. Guess who's been a naughty little girl? Today I'm gonna be giving you my opinion on the Dyson Airwrap. I have been hearing a lot of conflicting opinions actually. I'd like to actually compare this one to the Shark Flex style, which is the newest Shark styler, similar to the Dyson Airwrap, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get my hands on it because they don't really sell it here, so I would have to ship it from abroad. But you know, if that video is in existence, I'll link it up here so you can go ahead and watch it. So let's style some hair. So I'm gonna show you all of the clips that I filmed ever since I got the Airwrap, and I'm gonna talk you through my experiences and what those experiences taught me. That wasn't meant to sound so cheesy, but here you go. Before I do, I got the Dyson Airwrap Complete Long model because I wanted to try out the diffuser attachment, and it also comes with this nice little comb that I also wanted for some reason. I don't really know why. I assume you're already familiar with the attachments. I'm gonna talk about each and every one of them in more detail while I'm using it on camera so that you actually know what I'm talking about. So I actually downloaded their app, and there's a lot of style guides that you can choose from, so I'm gonna choose a style guide. Let's go for this one, smooth and straight, just like me. So the first thing that I immediately noticed was that the Dyson Airwrap is not as loud as a normal hairdryer, which was quite nice. The second thing I noticed was that I don't really know where the no heat damage claims come from, which is one of the main marketing points that Dyson is pushing about the Airwrap, but like how? Honestly, girly, how? The Dyson Airwrap has 3 heat settings. The first heat setting is cold air, then you've got medium, and you've got hot air. The highest setting I don't use at all because it's actually so hot it burns my scalp, and I am scared that it's gonna burn all of my hair off. So because it's so hot, I presume that it's also gonna damage your hair. The Dyson Airwrap is really nice to use one-handed, obviously because you don't need one hand for a hairdryer and another hand for a brush. That is the main reason that I wanted to get the Dyson Airwrap, because I just cannot do the hairdryer and brush combo. I probably could over time if I practiced, but I honestly don't even want to. Because why would you when things like the Dyson Airwrap exist? In this video, as you can see, I first used the brush attachment to just remove the moisture from my hair. I just did my head all around. This was before I found out that you're supposed to get your hair to only 80% dry before using the other styling attachments, but that's okay, you know, what she doesn't know won't hurt her. So I dried my hair with the brush attachment. I was hoping that the result would be closer to using a flat iron. Unfortunately, that was not the case. Well, my hair is definitely smooth, but I wouldn't say it's sleek. It's not really giving I styled my hair, so I'm gonna try a different attachment and try to whip something up with that. You can see that the round brush isn't really doing anything, but that's because my hair is already dry. So I was just playing around with it, and then I tried the Airwrap barrel for the first time. This is so funny to watch because I clearly have no idea what I'm doing. And to tell you something, the hair might be looking a little bit wild at this point, I admit, but within like an hour, the curly ends weren't so curly anymore and it looked a lot more natural. I'm gonna show you a video I took at some point that day where you could see my hair. And actually in my last video you can also see it. So definitely don't use it on dry hair like I did, because that is no bueno. Well, I did something. I just played around with the curling wand a little bit, and we've got some sort of a voluminous something. Yeah, this is the result of day one.
Now, this clip is my second day hair. I just completely lost the volume towards the top of my head overnight, and I think I also had my hair in a ponytail at some point. So I tried pretty much doing the same style on my slightly greasy hair. I wet it pretty much completely with water and then just used the heat protectant, and you'll see that it was looking promising when I first finished, but then the more I was touching my hair and the more I was playing with it, the worse it started looking. At the end, it's just like, no, I don't want to look like that. That was so disappointing. So the reason I'm telling you this is that maybe the Dyson Airwrap isn't the best on unwashed hair. It might depend on how fast your hair gets greasy. Mine gets greasy literally like the second I wash it. So maybe that's the reason it didn't work as well the second day, because it was just too greasy and too heavy from all the products from the day before. So I was a little bit bummed out that I couldn't use it the next day as well. Apparently you're only supposed to heat style your hair like once a week, but I paid a lot of money for this, okay? I'm gonna use this more than once a week. I'm gonna use this every time I wash my hair to get my money's worth. So the next hair wash day, I decided to do some curls. And I was really surprised with how well the curls held up. Besides the heat protectant, I didn't use any styling products. I didn't use a mousse. I didn't use a hairspray. If you wanted to hold up even better, you might consider doing what I did with the top pieces of my hair, which is just pinning them in the shape on the top of your head and wait for it to cool down that way. I didn't want my hair to be too curly, so that's why I didn't do it on the rest of my hair. I just wanted it, you know, in the front to be sort of more defined. But the curling one was really easy to use. This is the result. I don't think it looks great on me, but you know, at least you can see what the curls might look like on a short-haired person. Here is a look from later in the day. This was around 5 p.m. and it looks a lot better. Then I tried to use the diffuser attachment. I just want to experiment, okay? I recently found out that I have wavy hair, or that there's some sort of shape pattern to it, and I just want to see if I like it or not. Every single time I've done my hair curly, I didn't like it, but I'm gonna keep trying and we'll see. Maybe over time I'll change my mind. But yeah, the diffuser was really easy to use. I don't have much to say about it. I mean, it's probably very similar to a regular diffuser. The only thing here is that you do have the cold shot. And this was the result. I had tried curling my hair before, but since I didn't have a diffuser, it looked really puffy. And it does still look puffy in the video, but trust me when I tell you that it looks a lot better than it did any of the other times I tried to do the curly hair method. Then I was so pissed off with my old terrible haircut and the 3 different color shades in my hair. I got a haircut. I got my hair shortened and darkened a little bit. And here I'm just using the round brush on pretty much the whole head. I'm pretty sure this was the whole head. Again, really easy to use, so much easier compared to using a hairdryer and a brush, uncomparable. And my hair looked really good for the rest of the day as well. Just so polished and professional. Who is she? I do not recognize this girl. This is definitely a hairstyle I was not able to achieve at home ever before this. Like, I have tried doing a blowout manually the old-fashioned way, but it never looked this good. It just didn't. It just didn't. I also wanted to try out the Dyson just as a regular hairdryer, because if, for example, you have kids or a significant other that doesn't perhaps style their hair, but they do still dry their hair, then it might be useful for you to know that you can also use it as a regular hairdryer. Except that on this model, the hairdryer is actually part of the Coanda smoothing attachment. So on one side you have the flyaway mode, and then on the other side you have the regular hairdryer mode. It's pretty much just like the thin attachment that you would put on a regular hairdryer. And I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think it dried my hair relatively quickly. Then moving on to the Coanda smoothing part. So this other setting on this attachment is supposed to smooth out your flyaway hairs. Now, I had bleached my hair for over a year. I have pretty damaged hair because of that, and I have a lot of flyaway hairs. So this is something that I was really excited about, but honestly, I don't really think it does much. And I used 3 settings to get rid of the flyaways. I used the cold air, the medium air, and the hot air. And I feel like the first 2 didn't really do much, and the last one made it even worse. So a little bit disappointed by that. I'm not sure if it's meant to smooth flyaways like further down on your hair. Perhaps it's not meant for flyaways this close to your scalp. Not really sure about that, but either way, it doesn't work as great as I had anticipated, unfortunately. So let's talk about some things that I like about the Dyson Airwrap. The first one being that it gets the job done. You know, it does what it promises to do, at least on my hair. The cool shot is great. I think that really plays a significant role in making sure that your hair stays styled for a longer period of time. And it's also good that you don't have to curl your hair on heat all the time. Sometimes I just like to, you know, do the initial curl using the hot air, but once I'm not moving the wand anymore, I just switch to the cool shot to use as little heat as possible, pretty much. The length of the barrel is also quite nice because it means that when you're curling, for example, the top of your head, instead of having to hold your hair up like this for the cool shot, you can just grab it down here and just hold it like this. And it makes your arms a lot less tired, which might seem like a minor thing, but if you've ever tried styling your whole head, you'll see why I appreciate that. Like I showed you, the styles have been holding up relatively well on my hair. And like I said, I don't use any hairspray or any mousse, not because I didn't want to, but I don't have any and I don't want to buy any. I have heard people say that they used the Airwrap, styled their hair, and then 20 minutes later their curls or waves or whatever completely disappeared. But I don't think that has anything to do with the styler, but I think it has a lot more to do with your hair type. Because if no matter what you style your hair with, it doesn't hold its shape, I don't think the Dyson is gonna be any different. Because after all, it is a heat styling tool, but it's not a miracle worker, you know? There are things you can do to try to help retain the shape, using a mousse, using a hairspray, or pinning your hair up when you're curling it. Honestly, the best way to find out if it's gonna work on your hair is first think about your hair history and how it has held up being curled by a curling iron or a flat iron, and maybe borrowing it from a friend if you can and just trying it out on your hair, because that's really the only way that you're gonna know whether it's gonna work or not. Speaking of hairstyles not holding up, I don't think you can really style greasy hair with it and see results with it. It didn't do anything for me. Again, this might highly depend on the hair type that you have, but on my hair it didn't work. Another thing that I was slightly disappointed with was that the Dyson Airwrap on its own doesn't really replace my old routine, which is blow drying my hair and then using a flat iron. I mean, if you look at my hair, I was trying to be a little extra today, so I do have slightly more of a bob situation happening, and I created this by using the round brush and the Airwrap wand, but I can't really get my hair straight. So if you wear your hair smooth and straight, something to think about. In conclusion, I don't think it's gonna work on everybody's hair. It is a very luxurious experience. Everything about the product feels very luxurious, whether that's the case or just the quality of the materials or the fact that they have an app and, you know, a bunch of tutorials to show you how to style your hair. It feels very nice. And I think if and when you're able to get over the high price, I think it is worth it, because to be honest with you, I originally thought I wouldn't like this and I would return it. But now I kind of want to keep it and I wasn't ready for that. So if you can get over the high price point and you think it's gonna work on your hair, you think you're actually gonna use it, then I think it's definitely worth it. My hair has never looked better. Like every time I style my hair with the Dyson, and my boyfriend comes home from work, he's like, oh, who is this? Look at her. So I definitely like it. But like I mentioned at the start of the video, I'm also going to be trying out the Shark Flex Fusion, which should be coming within a couple of days, hopefully. So I think I need to compare it to that in order to be able to make a more informed opinion. But not having tried anything else yet, I think that the Dyson Airwrap is great. So stay tuned for my Shark Flex style comparison. If it's already published, I'm gonna link it up here. Let me know how you feel about the Dyson Airwrap after watching this video. Have I convinced you to get it? Have I convinced you not to get it? Let me know down in the comments. And I'll see you here in my next one. Bye!